Today, a little Dixieland Corona relief with Leon Lowery and the All-Stars doing St. James Infirmary Blues with special guests. Trummy Hammond on trombone and Peanuts Hucko Lowery on clarinet. Remember, if you like it, hit subscribe and hit like. Stick around for a little history at the end. Yeah. It was down at old Joe's barroom on the corner by the square. Drinks were served as usual. The usual crowd was there. On my left stood Big Joe McKinney. Eyes were bloodshot red. Turned his ugly face to the people. This is what Big Joe said. I went down to the St. James Infirmary. Saw my baby there, stretched out on a long white table. So cold, so sweet, so fair. Let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. Search this wide world over, never find a sweet man like me. When I die, won't you bury me standing in a box-back suit, double-breasted? Put a $20 gold piece on my watch chain, so the boys will know I died standing pat. You bring on your big brass jazz band, bring on your rubber-tired hack. It's 8 men going to the graveyard, ain't but 7 of them coming. That song's been done by thousands of people, and it's very old. It's been traced back to a song from the 18th century in England called The Unfortunate Rake, about a young man who died from what my mother used to call a bad disease. As far as it's been done by thousands of people, as I said, Trummy or Louis Armstrong did several versions. Cab Calloway did a version with in a Betty Boop cartoon. Jimmy Rogers did a version. Bing Crosby did a version. Ella Fitzgerald. But most notably, Louis Armstrong. He probably first played it with the King Oliver band, or maybe the Kid Ory band at the teens or in the 19 teens, early 20s. Then he put together a group in 1927 called the Hot Five, and in 28 they did a version of this song, as well as with the Hot Seven a little later, the Louis Armstrong Orchestra, and for our purposes today, most importantly, in 1959 with Louis Armstrong and the All-Stars on an album called Satchmo Plays King Oliver, with Peanuts Hucko on clarinet and Trummy Young on trombone, Billy Kyle on piano. A little bit about Louis Armstrong. He was maybe the most important figure in the history of jazz. He kind of invented it. At least he invented the notion of solos. Up until he put together the Hot Seven in 1927 or so, jazz bands they'd improvise, but they'd all play all the time, improvise together at the same time. And Louis Armstrong began soloing, most notably on a song called West End Blues in 1928 with Earl Hines on piano. But a riveting trumpet solo at the beginning and another one later on in the song. And he showed people what you could do with these jazz instruments. He also was notable for changing the way improvisation was done. Theretofore, if that's a word, they would improvise around the melody or around the harmony lines to the melody. But Louis Armstrong began improvising around the chord structure, which gave him a lot more freedom and is the cornerstone of what we now call jazz. That's what became jazz as we know it. And it's his fault. I have a confession to make, though. That's not a trombone. That's a Hammond bass melodeon playing the trombone-ish parts. And that's two Hohner melodicas playing the more or less clarinetish parts. So I cheated. I'll confess something else, though. There's no such person as Trummy Hammond or Peanuts Hucko Lowery. Those made-up names, not very made up. Or even Sherlock Lowery or Captain Spaulding Lowery. It's all me, trying to do the best I can, having a real good time. So you be careful, get your shots, get your boosters, take care of yourself, have a good time, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.